Okay, so here is my first tube, and I'll show you because I put it together a little differently. I actually used to do this a long time ago, and I stopped doing it, and then I saw somebody do it a while back, and I thought, you know, I really do like that idea. So the hinge part is not on the inside where you're going to be bumping. The hinge part is on the outside. All right. So that's hence the reason you only did 1 1/2-inch score on one page. Okay. And so yeah, so there's a hinge on this side. And I also mitered my corner a little bit so that when the paper comes across, it will completely cover this piece up, and you'll have a nice rolled edge on both sides of your page. So that will look nice as well. So once you get it down, then you want it to burnish it really well. So now let's go ahead and do the second one. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is miter your corners. Just stick, you don't want to cut the score mark off. You want to stick your scissors to the score mark and clip it. All right. Clean little housekeeping. Try and keep your place clean. Makes it a whole lot easier as you go along, as I'm picking up things here and there. All right. I have been working on another project, so things get messy, and I still have another project over that is half done from my vacation, when I go and visit my girlfriend, and all we do is craft and shop. It's a hard life, but somebody's got to do it, right? We help the local economy over there. That's for sure. Now, you're going to line this one up. Make sure that I'm gluing down this side, but I want to make sure that I'm closing this side around the back sheet. Make sure it's all nice and level on the top and the bottom, and then fold it over and burnish. And either wipe off or any excess glue. Okay. And then all you do is glue on this side. And it's easy peasy, guys. I mean, this is like one less whole step that you have to do. You know, you don't have to fold another one and score another one. And so it just saves a little bit of time, and it makes the tube very nice. All right. So now we are going to go. I am not going to insert these tubes until I've decorated them, because I prefer to not drag the book all over the place, back and forth and all of that stuff. Now, one thing that I want to do with the envelopes is I'll go ahead and prep those. Now, if you don't have these, maybe you have an envelope maker, and I will tell you the size of these, and or you can always ask me, and I can attach a copy of it that you can download maybe off my Facebook page or something. So, if you want to, I would just open one of these up and make a photocopy of it, and then you can just cut it out and have a template. So these are, let me just make sure that the 9.5 by 4 1/4. So yeah, it does not go that high on this. So this wouldn't work for you. It goes up to 6 by 8.5, which would work, because this is 9.5. That would be 8.5. So there would just be a little bit of a 1/2 inch on each side. So that would work. So you could make the 6 by 8.5, and you'll even have more length, because I only have 4.5. So you'd have more room to put goodies in. My thought, as always, is can you stick a 4x6 in it? Okay. And this, you'll be able to stick quite a few 4x6s in it. All right. So, I want to be able to use the flap to open and close this beautiful envelope. So, but I need to get this onto these smaller flaps. That's what these smaller flaps are for. This page, when we're ready to put it on, will go onto these three. The first and last flap and the center flap. So that will go on there. And then this one will go on these two. Okay, so it will be like you have two pages, but on one piece. So, and I'm even thinking about doing yet again something else with this. So, hang out for that. But yeah, that 6 by 8.5 size would totally work. So if you have your envelope punch, you could do that. They also have, let's see, 5.5 by 8.5. Yeah, so 8.5 seems to be the tallest this way that it'll go. Whichever way you're looking at it, 8.5 seems to be as long as it will get. So then but you could have it quite a bit wider, which would be nice. I think I am going to make mine wider. See, is this long enough? Yes, it is. So we had these two tubes. I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to set my book aside. Little scrap piece I was doing something with. Okay, so I'm thinking if I were to glue if I were to glue this onto another sheet like this, this could be a pocket within a pocket. And that would give us much more, excuse me, much more real estate. Looks like I have about 1/4 of an inch, which is fine on this sheet, or we can pull out a whole sheet and do that. Or we can use some of our strips and score down the center. I believe these, yeah, see, these are 3/4. So we could just use these strips and make ourselves little pieces. What size is this to this? Okay, so I'm actually going to cut this piece that I'm working on with the envelope to be the 10 1/4. No, what is it? 9 3/4. Yes. 10 1/4 minus 1/2 is 9 3/4, because we did the, there we go. Everybody was probably screaming at me. I heard one of you at least. The light went off for one of you. And also, in order to attach this to the small tabs that we've got in our book, in order to attach this, now let me think, we could just glue this down here and here, and wait and use the space between the envelope and the cardstock. Or, yes, or, come here. I'm looking for another sheet of paper. There we go. Or, I'm going to go ahead and make another tube. Kind of. So, and that way the envelope, you know, it's an envelope, so it's not really strong enough. If I was just going to put the envelope in, it would be fine. I was going to slice this open, put it in on those two pieces that I had on the hinge, and then glue it down. But I was going to lose a 1/2 inch in my envelope. So I think I would rather glue my envelope down and not have that happen, or I could hinge it so I could flip it. Oh, I like that even better. See, when we think things out. Let's see, do I have one? No, I don't have a single one of them long enough. Oh, yes, I do. Goody! Oh, that was boo-boos. Okay, so I can do this. Let's see, I only need them to be about 1 inch long. So, okay. And then I'm going to score at a 1/2 inch. I know it's already got a score line on it. Just ignore that. Pretend like it's not really there. Because in a minute it won't be. Ha ha ha. And then let's score this down. Okay. I don't need to put that away. I need to put this away. All right. Now this only needs to be the length of the envelope. So I'm going to go ahead. Scissors, there they are. I'm going to go ahead and cut this so it's the length of the envelope. And I'm not going to cover this. I did not want to cover this back part of the envelope. I wanted to leave it gold. I probably will put maybe a little lace or something like that on there and some kind of closure. So I don't want this in the way. So I'm going to glue this to the back side of my envelope. And then I'm not losing any of the envelope. Oh, isn't this fun, guys, figuring it out? That's what you do. You just kind of play and say, what if? If you keep asking yourself, what if? And then you start getting to where you don't really like it, then stop and go a different direction. I didn't burnish this, so it's... Okay. All right. So, I am going to clip both ends. So I'm just going to go from the point in a little bit, or cut into the point. There we go. Now we will go ahead. Okay. And I know I've got this white. Let me see how easy it is to pull this off. Let me see. Because this is glued and score taped. So let's just experiment for a second. If I have to make another one, I will. I'm having a hard time getting it up. So let's see. I know this is probably boring, but it's always good to see how well something's really working. Yeah, I'm just making a mess is what I'm doing, but I'm just getting bits and pieces, so it's still going to be doing its job. This is kind of like the inside layer. Okay, so we're going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that alone. But I'm thinking it's actually not going to work very well because I won't get this very center and this doesn't take ink. So I'm going to go ahead and cut myself another one. So a 1-inch piece in half, trim the ends, glue it down to the back side. Let's see. We want the edge here. So glue it down to the back side of the envelope with the open end towards your paper. And I shall return after I do mine and I'll show you. Okay, so remember now we're doing this twice. So, because both of these will be, oh, I guess my tape has malfunctioned here. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to put some, you can do double-sided tape or you can do glue. I don't want to get anything on the front of this envelope, you know, like if glue squirts out or something. So I am going to go ahead and put double-sided tape. Actually, I think I would prefer the double-sided tape right up to the edge of the opened end so that it seals down onto that. It's going to get ended up getting covered up, but you know, I don't know where, and I don't want to have to do something I don't want to do just because there's a stain on it. So we're going to cut off our little edges here. And I am going to put glue on the back side of the tape so that it will seal down to the edge. Okay, it is easier to put the glue on after you take the edging off, but that's okay. And I don't guess I burnished this, so it just makes it a little harder. All right, now I want the open end first. Maybe. Okay, we'll put this end. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so open end of the flap towards the flap, and then place this on your envelope. Get one corner down, exactly on the corner of the envelope, and then guide it all the way across to the edge of the envelope. There we go. Now give it a good burnish. I'm going to give it a double good burnish because I didn't burnish the tape down. I'm sorry, my allergies. I just went outside for a little while and helped my husband and son. They're doing some wood. And I've been playing with Fabri-Tac and wreaked havoc on my on my nail polish. Although it's time for me to pull it back. Okay, so I didn't get it quite all the way to the edge, but that's okay. It'll just blend. It will blend, people. All right, so then I'm going to take the next page, which, let me tell you, because I didn't tell you, I just grabbed it. It's 6.5 by the 9 3/4. Okay, so you'll be able to get at least 2 good pictures on here. So sorry again. And now we're going to center the envelope into this. And this one I'm just going to use glue. Get it down at the edge so that it seals. And I'm not putting it too close to this end because I don't want it to squeeze out onto my envelope. So now get it however you're going to be able to get it to eyeball the center. And with this glue, you have a little bit of wiggle time. Pull it back in. Make sure it's nice and level. You can even do this. There we go. Okay. Here we go. So there's that, and it's going to open up just like another page. I love it. Okay. There we go. Now, close this back up, bring this back around, and we're going to need, is this the one okay, this one, I guess I didn't cut the last one for this. So, I'm going to need another sheet of paper. I'm not doing, this piece is what I cut my, all my strips out of, so I need another 1-inch strip, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple, because what did I end up needing? 1, 2, and I need to do the other page for the other envelope, so I'll need 2 there. So let's get 3 cut here, and all right. Okay, so all we're going to do, I'll get this one done with you, and then I'll do the other one, excuse me, on my own, and we'll move on. Trying to keep these videos short. Have some fun, but keep them short. Keep them short. Okay. And just fold it down, make sure it matches. You can start on the end or the center, however you want. And if it doesn't match up perfectly, it's not that huge of a deal, because it's not like you're getting graded on it. And it will not show. So, you know, you could have a 1/4 of an inch on one side. You know, it doesn't really matter. As long as there's enough to feel like you're going to be able to stabilize what you're gluing together. But, you know, we always strive. We always strive. Give it a good burnish so that gets a nice, pretty fold there. And I'll put this away for right now because we're going to finish up this one. Oops, backwards. And there goes my, I guess that's the tape I used for a die cut. I just grabbed it. All right, let's make this. I'm just going to slide it in here. Push it down. Make it the same length. There we go. All right. So now we're going to use the open end towards the edge of our flashes. Oh, let me go ahead. You always want, anytime you can, you want to, remember, don't cut the corner off. You want the corner to go all the way to the edge of the paper, so you cut right up to that corner. Okay. So we're going to do this again. I've got the open end to my left. Okay, open end. The way that they're flapping, I'm going to pull this around this way. Now we still have everything out that way. The opening side is out that way, so the opening of this is out that way. And then just put this down into your corner, line it up, and take it all the way to the other side. Get it nice and burnished. Make sure you wipe all your excess glue off. A little bit of goo, little dabble do. Okay, close that up. Now we're going to take our final page. Now I have been watching my texture, and so far I've been putting texture up all the time. And then this should fit from end to end. It actually looks like it's a little off. Let me see. Let me see. Is it cut crooked? Oh no, it's just a visual. It's good. Okay, so I'm gonna put glue on this side. Most important thing is making sure that by the folded edge that your paper is going to get glued down all the way. Oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. No, I did not want to do this. I did not want to do this. And it's going to make a mess. It's going to make a mess. Tag flunchy. Okay. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it off. Where's my long scissors? Here we go. I'm just going to cut this off because we did not want to do this way. Sorry, guys. Let me get this cut off and I'll be right back with you. Okay, guys. So, because this is going to flap and this is going to flap, but this is going to be the tube that is going to go onto the other piece. So, let's get, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Let's go ahead. Put your 11 side down this way, and let's get a 1/2 inch scored and folded and burnish. All right, now I'm going to, let's see, actually only for me because I have the textured end. I'm going to burnish towards my textured end because I want the textured end to be facing up. Okay, so now I'm going to take this second sheet and I'm going to fold this around the second sheet and I'm going to make a mark. Hold on. Then you want to make your mark on the other side as well. And I'm going to make my mark. Let's see, this is not exactly. Make another mark. Let me erase that one because I had moved it just a little bit. Okay, so right there. And then I'm going to make a mark on the end here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and score here. Where to put my scoreboard? Oh, right here. Let's see. Line it up in here. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit off of this. Don't need much more than a 1/2 inch or so. And then I'm going to fold this one forward and give it a nice burnish. And let's check it. Closed end to closed end. All right. Let me do it this way. This is... All right. Well, I didn't do something right. Hold on just a second. That's the first one. No. Oh, because I went to the outside. That's why. Yeah, I figured since we did the tubes this way, we would also just get this way. That we would just get these the same. Put the folds on the outside. Okay, so then we're going to, oh, this is acting like I need to give it a little bit more space. So let me see if I can get it to the back side of the fold. It was wanting a little more space up here, making my pocket pucker. And we don't want pucker in pockets. Say that 5 times really fast. All right, now let's have a look. See? Slide that in there. Slide that in there. Make sure it's nice and straight. Bring your 2 sides down. No puckering pocket. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a line here. So I am going to now, right where that line is, why is that sticking? Okay, right where this line is, you can cut it straight to the score line, but you actually want it, Hooch, my dog is in the kitchen. Hooch, come here. I hear him. He gets up on the counter still. 'Cause he can. And then we're gonna, okay. So that way, when it goes down onto our pocket, which is, you know, what we're making, a pocket, it will come in, and then when you cover the paper, you won't see the mechanics. Now these flaps, we're going to cut off. All right, so just cut those off and make 2 of those, and we'll be ready. So you've got your envelope, and if you want your flap facing the front, you can do that, but I think I like it this way. And then we have our piece that we joined, and then we have this piece here, which again was 6.5 by 9 3/4, 9 3/4, and then this piece, which is 8.5, and without the flaps open, it's 10 3/4, and then you've pretty much got about 2 1/2-inch flaps. And then we're going to cut these off, and there we go. Just try and get a nice straight line. There we go. All right. And then all you're going to do is put glue, open the flap up and lay it flat on your counter. Line your pocket up, and you're keeping it away from the score line just a little bit, but you want to make sure it's going to fit into this one as well. If you have a little bit of space, just kind of center it in between the 2 little bits of space. And fold this over. And come to think of it, we can do the same thing. Give this a little cut as well. Burnish it. Come here, you little piece. And let's go ahead and cut this piece as well. Did the one side, didn't do the other. Make sure it's nice and straight. Down here at the bottom. Flip her over. Burnish her down. And a little bit too much glue there. Man, oh man. glue happy. Okay, so there is our pocket, and yet there's not a ton. So you put paper here, a little strip here, and paper here. But there's not a ton going to be in here. And then I'm going to make a nice decorative tag to go inside here, but you'll still be able to get pictures in there. Lovely. All right, and I love the plum and the gold together. I really do like that. It'll be even prettier, I think, once I get the papers on it, but yeah. All right, so we need one more of these guys, so get to the getting. Do your homework. And I'll see you back here in a little while. Thanks. Bye. Okay, one quick thing before we forget. I'm going to, somewhere on here, I'm going to write a T at the top, because we need one of these pages facing this direction and one of these pages facing this direction. So I don't want you to make a mistake and decorate them both like this, because this one needs to be like this. All right, so these two, I mean, if you want to, you can just put a T, because it doesn't really matter. There's opening on both sides, so whatever way you do it, just as long as you decorate the back the same orientation, you're going to be fine. But these two, you do want to make sure that you decorate one facing this direction and one facing this direction, or you won't be a happy camper. All right, guys. Next, we're going to start decorating. So I'm excited. I am still trying to figure out which paper I'm going to use on the very front of the book. So I do want to pull those out and not use them on this. So I already have pulled the one sheet out that I showed you. This one. So this one is actually going on the second flap. This one's going here. And then as you close it, you will see the lady, through the opening. So I know that I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to go ahead and look around and pull out the ones that I'm going to want to use for my cover. And I have also made a decision that I'm going to take a piece of 110, 120 pound cardstock and put back here and go from score mark to score mark and top to bottom. I will probably cover it like I would, I will show you, but I probably will cover it like I would a cover and glue it down, because I'm just worried that I'm just not going to have enough support for this sucker. This made that part of the system, I think, fine. I think that's good. But, yeah, I just don't have enough support with this thinner paper. So, I did make a decision to do that. And I probably will just cut it, like I said, just in between the two score marks where these fold. And probably cover it with either this purple or one of my pages. Yeah. 8.5 by 11 won't really work. So maybe I'll get a piece of 12 by 12, cut it the size I need, and decorate that, and then do it. But we will jump on that in just a few minutes whenever I start the very back, which is usually where I like to start. So until then, I am going to hold this out and figure out what papers I'm going to pull for the front cover, and then I can come back and use up all of my other stuff. All right, so as soon as I make this decision, I'll be back. So you do the same thing. Figure out, you're going to need, now this is longer. If you have some papers that are like this, that you can use the 11 side, I don't have a lot of those papers. But you will need at least 1, 2, and that'll take care of that. At least 3 to 4. I would say pick out 4, and you will have some of 4 left. If you're like me and have just this direction, then you're going to probably want to pick out 4 to 5. I will pick out 5 papers because I'm going to have to do the top and the bottom in something different to make up the... So I'm going to pull out 5 papers because all of mine pretty much go this way. All right? Okay, guys. So do that and then come back ready to decorate.